I want to talk about this last painting I did. It's called Gravity and it's 58 by 46 inches. What I like a lot about it is it has this motion that goes from left to right to the bottom, just a constant circular motion in the middle. So you notice first the multicolor expressive brushstrokes on the left, the top part of the left, and then you kind of go over to the right where you have this phthalo green, blue, and purple, and mostly white area, and then you go down to the darker, blurry, blended really well at the bottom, and then back up to the top left, and you just keep going over and over clockwise in three different sections of the painting. But if you look at the painting as a whole, the entire piece works really well together too, because of the color, the movement, and the contrast between thin paint and thick paint, really bright colors and dark and dull colors, and then just the way that the marks are made. The reason I call this painting Gravity is I started out with phthalo green and white, and then I quickly used dark blue and neon pink. It was kind of a thinner, not as good quality as the Utrecht acrylic that I use, and then I just kind of went with it with the thicker paint over top of that, and then the drips and the run from the dark blue and the neon pink kind of was like showing the weight and the gravity of the painting as it went down and fell, to show the physicality and the viscosity of not only the mark making and the process that I love, but also the weight and the different thinness and thickness of the paint itself. And I'm kind of like going back to one of my teaching days, to where I talked about how art was considered good or great if you had skill in copying and rendering something. And for many, many years, really good art was about creating the illusion of 3D onto a 2D surface. You were really good at drawing or painting if it looked just like the life or just like a photograph. Then that meant you were really good. And then along came abstraction, and really Turner started doing abstraction, and he kind of reduced or abstracted form. And then you've got other artists that reduced or abstracted form and line, such as Picasso and Braque with Cubism, or de Kooning and Rothko and abstract expressionists that reduced color. Then you got Alex Catt and Chuck Close that reduced portraiture, which at the time art critics and art historians thought that portraiture and self-portraits was dead. So then after that, he talked about more contemporary art in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. Then artists started to create environments and try to get a sense of an atmosphere or a portal to something else, or just to experience, just an experience in itself. And the color and the brushstroke and the texture, that's all the content that you need. My paintings are how I see and experience color in nature. Music is a huge influence, playing bass guitar, and also always listen to music when I paint, and that brings out the emotional quality, and it kind of determines the process and the direction of the painting, and also the colors. So when you look at a painting, especially if it's abstract, think about what the artist is reducing. Is he or she reducing form, line, color, space? Are they interested in scale? Do they want to create an environment, an atmosphere, a portal, a sense of immersion for you to go into the painting? The painting is the experience itself. Is it a painting? Is it an object? What is the artist trying to do? And every time I go into art museums, I never read or take the audio tour. I never do that. Everything you need to know is in front of you. And it's just like I tell my students, if this is the ACT, all the questions and answers are right there in front of you. It's right there on the surface. What you need to do, and most people don't, is really, really learn how to see. Just slow down and learn how to see rather than look. And that is all the difference in the world. If you just look at this painting I created and you look at it for 3 or 4 seconds and you move on, you've missed everything that I've done. But if you really slow down and take the time to see and spend 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours in front of it, and then you can understand what emotions that I'm trying to evoke, the process, the way in which I painted it from start to finish, the contrast, the elements, the visual elements of line, shape, color, the fluidity of it, the scale, the contrast, the form, the texture, space, all those things that I have in my tool belt that exist in this one painting. So really learn how to slow down and see and take the time and to appreciate what's in front of you. Just don't look at it for a few seconds, but actually take time to see. And then I'll just kind of go in and show you some up close. So hopefully that helps. Enjoy the day.